rage and fear on the locals. From house to house, they plundered and stole everything they could carry. If they did not find anything, or if others were quicker than they were, because it was first come, first serve when it came to plundering, they would turn on the helpless citizens. Men, women, and even children were brutally tortured for the slightest chance of hidden valuables. Since this was often the only way the soldiers could make actual money to feed and equip themselves and their families, they could not afford to show mercy. Many simply embraced boundless, unchecked violence as a new way of life. The fall of Prague marked the collapse of the Bohemian Confederation, but the war itself obviously did not end, as the triumphant Ferdinand failed to take advantage of his victory. He would not listen to any compromise of his demands to restore his full authority. There was no chance for religious equality after the revolt, and instead, he condemned captured rebels to an agonizing death, while the escaped ringleaders were under an imperial ban. Together with the confiscation and distribution of rebel property, this just further escalated the war and drove many new Protestant champions to the cause of the rebellion. The war, that began as a rather localized conflict in the east and center of the empire, spread to the north in the 1620s. Imperial and Liga forces entered the zones of influence and interest of other great powers. In 1625, Danish King Christian declared war on the empire to secure his influence in northern Germany and portray himself as a Protestant savior. The Hanseatic League outright refused cooperation with the emperor and insisted on its autonomy and neutrality. Polish sovereign Sigismund, on the other hand, was sympathetic to the imperial cause and introduced the Cossacks to European warfare, but also attracted the attention of the Swedes. In 1630, under the king and Lion of the North, Gustav Adolf, they set out to secure their interest in the Baltics. A strong Catholic influence in the north could not be tolerated by the ambitious House of Vasa, while Spain, themselves busy with Calvinist rebels, also sent out troops to help the French, who would rather see a fragmented Protestant Germany than a unified Catholic one, at first supported the northern forces with money, until in 1635, to prevent a peace treaty, they entered the war themselves. The war grew and grew, as did the armies, as did death and suffering. New knights appeared on the chessboard. Rich and ambitious men like von Mansfeld or Wallenstein aimed to get even richer through the war. Von Mansfeld tried to establish his own legend in the defense of Protestant liberty, while Wallenstein, on the opposing side, raised thousands of men for the emperor in his own pursuit of elevating his status among the nobility. War was business. War gave common but ambitious men a chance to rise in society. Experienced mercenary groups traveled from engagement to engagement and fought for the highest bidder. But the way to the top was paved with the blood and lives of thousands, then millions of men. Killing had become a normality, and authority broke down everywhere as the war expanded. Harvests were confiscated, cattle were slaughtered, people starved on the streets, and besieged cities even resorted to cannibalism. Peasants took to guerrilla fighting and formed robbery gangs and militias to fight off the marauders, but the major killer was disease. Where armies go,